Hi guys, Jenny with On Fire Fit. Today is a foot care, foot exercise, foot kind of a video. And the reason I'm doing this is because I do other videos on fitness, and I am going to talk a lot about this over the course of the next few months because really my intention when I first got started with On Fire Fit was that fitness really incorporates more than exercise. It includes your mental health, your spiritual health, obviously your physical health. And one of the things that I do a lot is ballet. I do a lot of walking and I love exercise, but I also love self-care because I think that we need to take care of our bodies. And because I do a lot of ballet and I've had people say, how come you don't have ugly, gnarly feet? Because with all that ballet. And there is a lot to be said about that. I'm going to talk about that a little bit, but I am going to give you just a little rundown on what I do for my foot care. And, you can incorporate some of this stuff if you want, but just giving you some ideas of things that might help you. Okay, first, of course, we have to start with how to take care of your feet in the shower. So one of the things that I do is I use a pumice stone. Mine has the little handle. And so every time I take a shower, I use the, on the heel, because of course with ballet you're gonna get rough spots and everything, and so I usually put some soap and then I scrub all those areas. Obviously I'm not in the shower and I wasn't gonna bring you in there. Okay, so the pumice is a great thing. I try to replace this with different types. Sometimes I get like the metal thing, but this is what I have currently. Then at the end of the shower, I always, this is something my mom taught me, not just for your feet, but this is baby oil. And so I use baby oil kind of like when your skin is still wet, you put the baby oil and then you dry it off. And so I do that as well on my feet. And then I use a lotion. This is just a Vanicream lotion. We always get samples. And so I will put, lotion and usually a pair of socks after that. So that is shower time. In the evenings, I try very hard. Sometimes I get lazy, but I try really hard to use this. And this is I guess ped egg, is that how you say that? And so it has the little scrapey thing. And so I'll just sit, usually I'll be watching a video or whatever and just, take the edges of everything and just go over it. And then I always finish it off with one of two things. Now, people did not believe me when I said that I use castor oil, but this has like a little dropper thing, and this one I used up already, but this is the one that I showed on social media before. And then, actually there's a couple drops left. There we go. It's kind of thick, so kind of acts like a lotion, and then you can just rub it in. And then I forgot to pull out my fuzzy socks, so hold on. I think one of my kids got me these and then put on the fuzzy socks. My other option is to use Vanaply ointment, which is sort of like Vaseline, and so I'll use of course that's like a Vaseline, super thick, and I'll put that. So either one is going to be fine. And then I do not sleep with socks at night. I can't handle I get hot at night really easily. But prior to that, I will put on my socks and just let that stuff kind of soak in. So that is really the extent of my care that I do on an ongoing basis. I usually get a pedicure. Oh, it goes in like phases depending on how busy I am. So I will sometimes go every 3 weeks. Sometimes it goes a little bit longer. But in the meantime, I'm trying to take care of things myself. And a lot of it has to do with, usually if my nails get really banged up, then I have to go in sooner. Usually my feet don't get like destroyed as fast as my hands because I'm always doing dishes and everything. Okay, so let's do some exercise. All right, so ballet does a lot for your feet already. And so that probably has a lot to do with my ability to walk in high heels. And I get asked a lot about my arches, and I believe that it's primarily a genetics, God-given thing. I don't know that you can develop your arches. I have not read research on whether or not you can actually change your arch by doing exercise, so I don't want to be misleading and making it sound like you can. I do know that you can strengthen your feet so that your feet are more able to do all the things you want to do, wearing heels or walking, exercise, all of that kind of stuff. And a lot of times when I'm teaching people in ballet how to point their foot, they kind of curl this. I've done a video on this before, but I'm just kind of incorporating it in now. But they kind of curl from their toes. And you really have to think about pointing your foot includes all the structures, not only of your foot, but your ankle and even all the way up to your hip. It's all joined together. So when I start pointing my foot, it actually starts from here. And if you want to think about like radiating down, sorry, I was coughing so hard. Plus, and I don't have an infection, I just couldn't stop coughing. And I was getting really hot. So sorry about that little transition. But basically, when I start pointing, I'm actually thinking from where this all inserts into my hip. And so I immediately engage from here in my thigh, my knee. See, if you notice, my knee pressed down and this muscle engaged. And then as that like pulse of energy goes down my leg, it goes out and over to my foot. And so it engages all of your leg. And that is part of why I think you have to be careful not to think only about your foot. And isn't it just so true for, if you want to use that as a metaphor for anything really, there's so much more to things than the surface of what you see. You have to put a lot of thought into things, and that thought will generate the action. So again, starting with here, pressing through and then rolling through. Your foot has a lot of muscles, bones, and you want to try to work through that whole thing. So I'll just show you a few of the exercises that I do, but it's not necessarily complicated, but it is hard sometimes for people to get that concept. And so you just kind of roll through and roll back out and roll back through. And yeah. So, and then I'll do some standing ones as well. All right, and so here's going to be some relevés. You might hear a little bit of a crunching. No pain involved, but sometimes the joints just pop because there's air. Okay, so let's try it in first position. Roll through. And of course, you're using your legs, you're squeezing your thighs and your glutes and everything, calves, and roll. and roll up and roll down. And then you can isolate and do one foot and the other foot. And sometimes the hardest thing is to not bend your knee and to roll up from there and keep the knees straight without any bend. But you do build up the strength. But again, it's calves and ankles and feet and all of it. So okay, and okay, so thanks so much for being with me here for a little overview of my foot care, what I do. I will be talking about all different types of fitness coming up, and I do recognize that everybody doesn't love all the same type of videos, so just be gracious if I could ask for that, that if you don't like a video, just pass on by, and if you do, let me know, and I will try to create more videos that, give us kind of a more broad sense of what fitness is. And sometimes it might be not an area that you necessarily gravitate toward, but maybe it gives you something to think about for your own life. So I love doing that kind of thing. So anyway, I am so glad that you were with me today, and I hope that you're living an on fire day.